My earliest memories were always with my dad in the backyard on the Weber kettle. I'm Charlie McKenna from Lily's Q. We're really just about real barbecue cooking from the South. If you get into barbecue and you get into cooking, I suggest a tri-tip. Once you get the technique down, it really allows you to show off a great piece of meat. First thing we got is here our Weber hickory chunks. I like to use the bigger chunks over chips. Main reason is I like it to burn a little bit slower, put off a little bit more smoke, and I also don't have to add them to the fire as much because we're not burning through them as much. So the Weber Kettle Master Touch has this nice centerpiece that you can take out, but we'll take one of these chunks. I'll set it down in here, down in the coals. That'll start to light, put off a little smoke for us so when we're doing our little indirect two-zone method. You'll see smoke coming off the hickory chip already, which is nice. You can smell that nice flavor, which will impart on the beef. All right, so we have the tri-tip here. It's a beautiful butcher's cut, one of those cuts that the butchers used to take home. You can see beautiful intermuscular marbling. That's the fat that we're looking for when we're looking for great meat. It's not the big fat cap on top. But you can see here we have some silver skin that we want to take off. I love a big, nice pointy butcher knife so that I can get my tip under there and then just slide it out. Then I'll grab the silver skin with one hand and just use the knife blade to clean the silver skin off. Now the tri-tip looks nice and clean. Now we're ready for seasoning the tri-tip. I like to use these shakers, and the reason why is because I like to get an even disbursement of the rub, which is a salt, pepper, garlic blend. We'll season all the sides. Obviously, you eat all sides of the meat, so we season all sides of the meat. We want to make sure that we're getting flavor all the way into the middle when we do this. We're going to lay this tri-tip in the front where there's no charcoal underneath it. This is kind of what we call indirect cooking. The idea is that when you drop the lid of the Weber kettle down, the convection of how the airflow goes will help cook the tri-tip but not sear it on the outside. So we're getting a little smoke from the hickory. The smoke is penetrating the tri-tip a little bit. We're gonna smoke this, and we're gonna be looking for an internal temperature of anywhere between 125 and 130. Then we'll move to more of a direct cooking method. So now we're gonna do a little bit of direct cooking. We'll move the tri-tip from the indirect zone to the direct zone. What we're trying to do, and this is great for all beef, is we're trying to get that nice even coating brown. That's called Maillard browning. You want the whole steak to be brown as possible. So we're using the heat over that direct charcoal. We want to get all the sides seared up and nice. Obviously, when you go to cut meats, you're going to want to rest the meat. That's a very important part to slicing any type of meats. We want to make sure that the water molecules that are in there that were heated up slow down and the proteins start to absorb so you don't have a lot of liquid on your cutting board. That's bad. We want as much moisture to stay in this product as possible. The one thing that you should really know about tri-tip is the grain goes two different directions. If you look at meat, you always want to slice meat for eating cross grain. I like to separate the two grains right off the bat. So the first thing I can see is this one comes here and it ends right about here. So that's where I'm gonna make my first slice. I do like to use a long slicing knife for this so we can just go right through the meat. We're gonna separate that out. Then when you turn this, you can see it has that like nice medium color to it. So we'll take the knife, start to slice right through. I like to go about nice pencil slices. You can see as we slice this, I use the full blade of the knife, once through, once back, not the sawing motion. Beautiful color in here. We'll fan that out a little bit. That way you can see the entire piece of tri-tip. Here's our beautiful barbecue tri-tip cooked on the Weber kettle in the two-zone method. Hopefully you try this method at home and it comes out great for you as well.